YouTube family, what's good, what's good. Hey, just wanted to touch base with you guys about some things that I just learned today. Let's kick it off with this picture, right? What you're looking at right there is a picture of Arnold from Different Strokes on his episode of Different Strokes, right? And God rest his soul, Gary Coleman, one of my favorite shows of all time when I was a kid, right? Either way, if you don't know this show, check it out on YouTube. They've got the episodes. This episode, right, was near and dear to me. I remember it because that episode, it had the guys, him and his family, going after Halley's Comet. If you don't know what Halley's Comet is, it's a comet that comes around the Earth every 75 years. So from 1986, the last time was around 1911, right? Last time I remember seeing it, I was a kid. Why did I remember seeing it? Because my dad and my brothers made such a big deal about this crazy comet in the sky. I didn't know what a comet was. I thought comet was like Ajax as a kid because we used to have to clean on the weekends. Anyway, so that was my thing. And so my dad went out, got a telescope. My mom's sitting over there like, man, what the hell y'all doing, right? Wasn't her thing, but, you know, dad was all in it, all about it. Got me and my brothers mad interested, brought the telescope out. We took under the New York City light pollution lights, right? We took a look at Halley's Comet on this Earth. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Either how, Halley's Comet was such a big deal, right? Making its closest approach to the Earth 75 years later, that even an episode of Different Strokes had to give their take on what Halley's Comet was doing. All right? That was just what I wanted to talk about for that. Let's go into something different. So, nothing but cap, right? I had to send myself this email because there were a couple of things. So when was the last time we went to the moon, right? The last time we went to the moon was December 1972, around that time period. Right? I wasn't born yet. I'm a 78 baby, but 1972, so that's almost 50. That's like going to be 50 years, right? 50 years to now was the last time we went to the moon. It's July 2022. So we're about to hit our 50-year anniversary in December. Haven't been back since. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. How we get to the moon, how far the moon is, right? We took a rocket to the moon, right? We took the Apollo series of rockets to get there. How far it is. Apparently it's 238,000 miles away, right? Cool. And the different layers of atmosphere that we have to penetrate in order to get to the moon, right? Let's move forward. Okay, so some of the hardest material that could withstand all kinds of fucking temperatures and pressures and stuff like that, right? Japanese scientists have identified a metal able to withstand up to constant forces of ultra-high temperature, right? Offering promising application, including in aircraft jet engines and gas turbines for electric power generation. Cool. Metal that withstands high temperature and pressure identified. The Japanese have identified that, right? That was in July of 2018. And it is titanium, carbide, molybdenum, silicon boron, based alloy, no aluminum, right? There is zero aluminum in this, right? And it can withstand temperatures of 1400 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade, right? Keep that in mind. This is not my math, right? That is the math. Those are the facts from what the Japanese have accomplished, okay? So, we're gonna jump around a bit, so just bear with me. All right, so if you guys don't remember, earlier last year, we had a probe reach the sun, right? So around April last year, we had a probe that entered the freaking solar system. The solar system, I'm talking about around the corona of the sun. So apparently, these guys in April reached the sun. Launch. I know, there it is, on April 21st, 2021, during its 8th flyby of the sun, Parker Solar Probe, that's what it's called, the Parker Solar Probe, encountered the specific magnetic and particle conditions at 18.8 solar radii around 8 million miles from the sun, right? Above the solar surface that told scientists that it had crossed the Alvin critical surface for the first time and finally entered the solar atmosphere, right? That's pretty hot. I'm going to assume it's pretty hot, right? I don't know what this Parker probe is made of. I don't know, and this was sent in December of 21, right? December of 21, they sent this thing. No, I take that back. They sent this thing 2018. Parker Solar Probe launched in 2018, and it reached 8.1 million miles, right, in 2021. So it's a 3-year trip, roughly. So now, surface of the sun, 4.3 to 8.6 million miles. So the sun from the Earth is 93 on average, right? I'm going to say on average because when we travel in a focus going far from the sun, right? Wintertime or American wintertime. Keep that in mind, American wintertime to close to the sun, right? Which apparently we'd be closer than 93 million miles. So then that would mean 93 million is an average that we are, is our average distance from the sun, right? That's what we were trained with in school, unless they have some other math that we don't know about, right? So I'm showing you this, I'm getting to a point, right? April 21st, we sent a probe to the sun, okay? Let's go back to the sun, to the moon, temp conversion. How hot is the sun exactly? 5778 Kelvin. 5778 Kelvin. Not degrees Celsius, not degrees Fahrenheit. 5778 degrees Kelvin. So if you subtract 273 degrees from that degrees Kelvin would be in centigrade 5,505 degrees Celsius. That's what it would be. So let's go back. Temperature conversion. Okay. Temperature. Okay, we have that. So degrees Kelvin should be 5778 to degrees Celsius. Okay, 5504. I was off by 0.15. Okay, cool. To degrees Celsius. So 5778 minus 273, right, will give you degrees in Celsius. So that's 5,500 degrees Celsius. 5,500 degrees Celsius is the temperature of the sun, right? That's what they said. I could be wrong, but that's what they said. If you guys want to see the link, I'll put it in the description box here in a little bit. But damn, we're going on 8 minutes already. But I don't want to stay here too long. I want to get to the point, but I wanted you guys to see the steps that I took to come to the conclusion that I did, right? So we went to the sun's temperature. We went to what's the Earth's atmospheric temperatures? Because we have different layers of the atmosphere, right? So the ones that I was taught about growing up were the troposphere, stratosphere, ionosphere, right? Earth's atmosphere overall picture. So you got your troposphere. What are the temperatures? The troposphere temperatures, right? That's where all your weather phenomena happens. Temperature's around 60 degrees, right? On a good day, I'm sure. 60 degrees. The stratosphere, the second layer, right? The second layer of the Earth's atmosphere ranges from -60 to -51 degrees Celsius, right? Okay. Let's keep it moving. The mesosphere, or I guess they would call it the ionosphere, -5 degrees Fahrenheit. I like how they start playing with Fahrenheit. Okay, total, the most -120 degrees Celsius, right? That's pretty cold. Now the thermosphere. from a range of 311 to 621 miles from the Earth's surface. So where in respect is the ISS, right? Where is the ISS during this? And remember, the ISS is traveling at what? 17,500 miles an hour around the Earth, right? And then apparently a couple of years back, NASA even said that we're still within the Earth's atmosphere. Keep that in mind. They didn't say we were out of the atmosphere. They said that the moon is still within the Earth's atmosphere. Keep that in mind. Keep that in your thoughts. Let's keep it moving. Boom. Temperature, right, of the thermosphere. Negative 184 degrees Fahrenheit. Upper boundary to 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, or 2,000 degrees Celsius. 2,000 degrees Celsius near the upper boundary as UV and X-ray radiation from the sun is absorbed. Okay, cool. The exosphere, right, gradually dissolves to outer space. Gradually dissolves to outer space. Some scientists claim that it has heights of 62,000 miles to 100K, right? Or 100K above the Earth. 62,000 miles, still not close to where the moon is. The temperature range of the exosphere can reach up to 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1,500 degrees Celsius in the uppermost atmosphere. 1,500 degrees Celsius. 1,500 degrees Celsius. Okay. Composition of the layers of the Earth, of the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, you guys get it. We're getting there. We're getting there. Temperature conversions, sun's conversion, Halley's Comet, Earth's atmosphere to the sun. Now, this is where I get confused. NASA plans on doing something special August 29th. Let's read the first few things in this, right? NASA's gargantuan mega moon rocket could head to space as soon as August 29th. What year? This was published 1 day ago. 1 day ago from today was the 20th of July, 2022. I'm going to give you the whole date. Right now, it's almost midnight, July 23rd. So we're still, or July 22nd, excuse me. So we're still on the 21st of July, 2022. Yesterday was the 20th of July, 2022. Let's read. This rocket will ultimately carry the first woman and person of color to the moon. Okay. NASA's Artemis mission, which will ultimately return humans to the moon's surface for the first time in 50 years, including the first woman, person of color to set foot there, and person of color to, could launch as soon as late August. When? What year? Agency officials said in news briefing on Wednesday, July 20th. That was yesterday. The first phase of the mission, dubbed Artemis 1, will see NASA's massive new space launch system, SLS, launch on 4 to 6 week long trip around the far side of the moon and back, right? NASA had eyed August 29th, September 2nd, or September 5th as the earliest possible launch dates for the mission, NASA Associate Administrator Jim Free told reporters. The precise date of the mission will be announced about a week in advance. Okay, so the 27th, right? The 22nd, right? Around there, that time frame of August is when we're going to find out. NASA added, Artemis 1 mission will be totally uncrewed with an empty Orion crew capsule riding atop the tip of the SLS. According to Artemis mission manager Mike Serafin, the main objective of the mission is to test the effectiveness of Orion's heat shields, which will be subject, to temperatures about half as hot as the sun. Half as hot as the sun, as the capsule plunges through Earth's atmosphere during the re-entry phase of the mission. Okay, that's just a capsule. Okay, cool. Half as hot as the sun, huh? Okay. NASA plans to recover the capsule after it splashes down into the ocean, then thoroughly study its wear and tear before allowing astronauts to ride aboard it on future launches. Artemis 2 will be the mission's first crewed flight. So Artemis 2 flying astronauts around the moon, but now landing there. Artemis 3 will see astronauts touch down at the lunar South Pole with the goal of establishing a permanent base there. Okay. Success of the mission hinges on the performance of the meaty SLS rocket, also known as the Mega Moon rocket. 1 month ago, in mid-June, NASA rolled the rocket onto the launch pad for a wet dress rehearsal, meant to simulate an actual launch up to the final 9 seconds before liftoff. However, the launch was aborted with 29 seconds left on the countdown clock due to a hydrogen leak within the rocket. Okay. Despite the early end to the rehearsal, NASA officials said that the SLS met about 90% of its pre-launch objectives, with only a few kinks left to iron out, and since then, engineers have replaced the faulty seals that allowed the hydrogen leak, NASA said. Standing 322 feet, when capped with the Orion crew capsule, the SLS is taller than the Statue of Liberty and weighs a massive, check this out, 5.75 million pounds, right? According to NASA. While the SLS is slightly shorter than NASA's Saturn V rocket used during the Apollo missions from the 60s and the 70s, it's considerably stronger, capable of delivering about 8.8 million pounds of thrust, or 15% more than the Saturn V's 7.5 million pounds. According to NASA, the SLS is the most powerful rocket ever built. And this is the guy that wrote this shit, Brandon Spector. Y'all might want to check this dude out on Twitter and ask him what the fuck. But they said that they spoke with reporters. Who were they talking to? Who were these reporters, right? So let's go back. The first phase of the mission, dubbed Artemis 1, will see NASA's massive new space launch system, SLS, launch to a 4 to 6 week long trip, blah, 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 blah. August 29th, September 2nd, September 5th. NASA has eyed those dates, right? As the earliest possible launch dates for the mission, NASA Associate Administrator Jim Freed told reporters. What reporters? Who the fuck did you tell? Because here's the thing. When Halley's Comet, right? This was in the 80s. And it was big news. Halley's Comet hit waves, right? Everybody, even Different Strokes, which was a very popular show in 86 still, right? Halley's Comet got everybody interested in getting a telescope and getting outside to see what the hell was going on, right? 1996 came around. Everybody was talking about what? Halley-Bopp. Halley-Bopp was a comet that graced the skies for like 9 months or some craziness like that. I won't forget, it was my senior year in high school. I rolled into my senior year in high school, and I got to gaze at this comet for months on end, and it was close, it was beautiful, it was big. Halley-Bopp. So now we're going to do something we hadn't done in 50 years. And you mean to tell me nobody's heard a peep of it? You haven't had not one drop of news other than Live Science. Live Science, I'm going to leave this in the description box, y'all, for y'all to check out yourselves, y'all investigate. Live Science, nobody has been talking about this. No, the reporters or nothing like that. I haven't seen it nowhere. And this is one of the biggest feats we can achieve in the last 50 years, to send somebody back to the moon. Really? Am I really supposed to believe this? Are you supposed to believe this? Folks, tell me what the hell you think, because me, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think.